What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today, you guys, with another review for Divorce Sistas. This is season 1. This is episode 3, you guys, and this episode was titled Hush Tones. Now, before I do get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel, you guys aren't subscribed yet, and I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let us go ahead and discuss Divorce Sistas, shall we? So with Divorce Sistas, you guys, this episode, it picks up where we ended with the last one. So that was with Geneva and Javon having a conversation where Javon, as Geneva, is Anika, his daughter. And he digs deeper, right? Because he says that, they were together, it was 5 years and 11 months. And I was like, well, Geneva, girl, your daughter is 5 years old. So is it a possibility? And Geneva's face is just giving it away. So then, he goes one step further and he was like, Anika, you notice that we talked about naming our child. I said, whoa, pump the brakes. Geneva said, what now? So you named your daughter a name that you was having with the man that you was having an affair with. Geneva, you's a trifling motherfucker. So then she just told him to leave, but William came down, so they ended up leaving and going to the banquet, right? Now we move over to Rashida. Rashida's asking Jeff, if he meant what he said about loving her. And so he was like, of course I meant what I said. He was like, is everything okay with you? Like, are you going through menopause? I said, menopause, Jeff. And she was like, what the hell did you, she didn't say, what the hell did you say to me? I'm saying, what the hell did you say to me? She said, what did you say? He said, yeah, because you've been real insecure. I was like, Jeff, you're an asshole towards her. She said, Jeff, every time I ask you a question, you always manage to flip it back on me, which she is right about that because he flipped it back on her, right? He told her, I love you, Rashida. I tell you every Sunday that I love you. I said, every Sunday? So you don't say it like sporadically throughout the week. You wait until Sunday at church to tell your wife you love her. That is for the people. And that's exactly what Rashida said. That's just a front. That's what you put on for the people. I said, absolutely, Rashida. Absolutely. She's like, we don't even have sex anymore. I said, you don't say. That's because he's sleeping with somebody else. He getting it from somebody else. And it ain't your ass, Rashida. Rashida. Yeah, he getting some sex from someone else. And it ain't you. Honestly, this episode I was looking and I was like, wait a minute. Because I remember what I said in episode number 1 or 2, episode 2, when that young girl was saying that she was having an affair with Jefferson. And remember, I said, Jefferson ain't having no affair at that church and he ain't doing it at the house. That's because Jefferson, he's having an affair. But I don't think it's with who you think it is. It's not with women. I don't think Jefferson having an affair, because the more I thought about it, I'm like, this is Tyler Perry's show. Put yourself in Tyler Perry's shoes. You're gonna be obvious about it, but you're not gonna be super duper obvious about it. This is a man in a church. I was like, it ain't gonna be an affair with a woman. Jefferson's gonna have an affair with the man. But I don't know if Devon Franklin would go for that, but with him actually being a man of the church. But hey, we'll see as we get through these episodes. But back to this episode. So then he sits there and says, this why he don't like being out with her and all this kind of stuff, because she nags him, and any woman in the church would love to be in her position. I said, excuse me? But you know what, he is right, because there are some women that will accept any piece of a man. And when I say a piece of a man, because that's exactly what you get, Rashida, pieces, scraps, nothing from Jefferson. But hey, moving on, you guys. Let's pause here and move forward. So we see Naomi. Naomi is ready to go to the banquet. her dress. Beautiful dress, Naomi. I will say that. But girl, you got your cleavage out. You got a high ass split for a church banquet. But you looked good. She looked good. So then there was a knock, knock, knock at her door. And so she sent somebody to go open the door. In walks multiple policemen. I was like, why are these policemen here? Oh, we need you to step outside with us, ma'am. I said, what did she do? Because they have a warrant. I was like, okay, can you tell us what the warrant is? And they never really said what the warrant was for. I was like, well, how do you come? Granted, you come in somebody's house with a warrant, you typically hand them the warrant, but okay, Tyler Perry's world, we just playing in it, right? So Naomi is like, she ain't stepping outside. I was like, Naomi, girl, just go outside, please. So we find out that Franklin, well, we see Franklin's lawyer come in, and I was like, so what are you doing here? Well, the reason that Franklin's lawyer is here is he wants to get everything that he's gifted to Naomi. So they're taking Naomi's cars. They're taking paintings, which I have a question about. We're going to get deeper into that in a minute, but I have a question about these paintings. We'll get deeper into it. Because actually, I'm not understanding. So, back to it. They took paintings, they took the cars, they taken her furs, they took her earrings she had on, they took her ring, they took damn near everything from the woman. And I was like, y'all, this is why I asked, this is why I didn't want to do this show, you guys. This is the particular reason I did not want to do Divorce Sistas, because I cannot turn my logical brain off, because this makes no sense to me. This doesn't make any sense to me. From the little bit of legal stuff that I know, even if you, like, when people used to take, I know that it wasn't 100% real, but she is a real attorney. She's a real judge. Judge Judy, like, if people would go to her courtroom and try to sue their ex-fiance of their, when men give a woman an engagement ring, they would sue them for the engagement ring back. And if the man, especially if the man broke off the broke off the promise for marriage, Judge Judy was like, well, that ring was a promise for marriage. You didn't go through with it, so she keeps it, right? Because it's a gift. And that's what these things are to Naomi, are gifts. So I don't know what judge, and I don't know how good of an attorney Geneva is, because girl, what? But okay. Now we got to go back to suspended reality, because that shit was bothering my spirit, because I just couldn't understand how these are gifts. And then also, what really blew me is the fact that Franklin is doing all this stuff to give this jewelry, the shit, everything to his new wife. I was like, why would you want to give something that your ex-wife had to the new wife? Makes no sense to me. But it is what it is, right? Moving on. Now we're going to actually call them the four blind mice at this point, because it's technically we're going to call them two blind mice. The four blind mice, which technically two weren't blind, but William, Geneva, Javon, they're on the way to the banquet, right? William is telling Javon, one of Geneva's friends, Tiffany's gonna be there. She's recently divorced, she's single. I think you might like her. So then he calls up Bridget to ask Bridget, like, hey Bridget, so I'm bringing an extra person. Can you squeeze a seat in right there by where Tiffany is sitting? And Bridget was like, I'll see what I can do. Geneva, on the other hand, is getting increasingly pissed. I was like, Geneva, fix your face, because you're giving yourself away. Like, you're being so obvious. But we'll talk about Geneva more once we get to it, right? So, also while they're in the car, Duffy is calling Geneva about what happened with not Tiffany, Naomi, because Naomi got in her car because they left Naomi's old school car, and she got in that car and drove off. Now I did cackle because I saw her train hanging out the back of that, out the door of the car. Moving on. Now, Bridget. Yeah, Bridget's gonna get on my nerves. I can say that too. Bridget and Geneva are two people that are going to increasingly annoy me, and I'm gonna tell you why. So Bridget is at the banquet, right? She's setting up. They're going over the seating arrangement. Who should sit here? Who shouldn't sit here? Right? So Vaughn brought his extra loud ass up, just talking loud as the day is long, right? And there's the man that she's talking to. This man is like, "Oh, yo, you shouldn't be up here. Like, you need to be somewhere else." And Vaughn is pissed off at this man. I was like, "Nigga, you're dressed like a waiter." And even Bridget at one point had to tell him, like, "You wore this suit. You look like a waiter. Like, what are you upset about?" So he was like, "But this is my good threads." Why am I looking? Vaughn is gonna get on my nerves too. Vaughn is gonna work my nerves, but Vaughn is gonna work my nerves for a different reason than Bridget and Geneva. Vaughn is gonna work my nerves because Vaughn is just irritating. Vaughn is loud as fuck. Vaughn is. This man is also talking about I need a drink. Dude, go to the liquor store. Go something like, but you ain't got no money. And I think Vaughn is going to irritate me because Bridget irritates me because Bridget won't speak up for herself. Here's the thing. It's fine to want to be a content creator. That's cool. That's cool. We'll talk about him once we get to. We'll talk about him because he's gonna come up a little bit. He's gonna come up again. Let's pause here and wrap up the episode. All right, you guys. So all the girls, they made it to the banquet, right? And they went to a back room, and they all called up Naomi, right? So we see Naomi. So Naomi is leaving a liquor store and she's drunk. I was like, oh my God, this ain't gonna be good, right? So she told them what happened about Franklin sending the police to come and get the stuff. So Geneva put it on mute, and she was like, they came to get the stuff that the judge ordered in a divorce. But again, Geneva, what kind of fucking lawyer are you that these are gifts? I'm pretty positive it can be proven that those were gifts to her. It ain't something that he loaned to her. It ain't something that, it wasn't a loan. So why can you fight for that? Like, is this, and I kind of feel like this is in retaliation. Like, these gifts to her, I'm not going to use air quotes, these gifts to her, I feel, well, it is. I don't think he gives a flying fuck about these gifts. But I'll talk about that as I get into it, right? So the girls are telling Naomi, like, girl, you probably shouldn't come. She's like, you know what, you're right. I probably shouldn't come. You know what, I'm not coming. So she hung up on them, right? I was like, if y'all really believe that Naomi is not coming, y'all are delusional as hell. Y'all should have closed the doors and locked the doors and told security, if you got security, whatever you do, don't let if my friend comes up here, please don't let her in. But they felt good about it, right? They felt good. Oh, thank God. So even if Franklin does come with his wife, Naomi won't be here. I said, okay, if that's what y'all want to say. So then we have another scene of Vaughn being a total embarrassment. So it was Calvin, it was Jefferson, William. I think William was there. So the guys were talking, right? Vaughn brings his behind over there. Once again, loud as all outdoors, right? Asking, where's the liquor? They were like, this is a church event, so there is no liquor. There is wine. And he's like, shit, what kind of event? I'm like, oh my God. No class, no tact, no nothing. Vaughn is he's just there, right? So we get the event started. So Rashida and Jeff get up. Actually, they walked in together, holding hands. They sat down beside each other. Then they start the event, and they are holding hands, walking up there, showing a loving couple, even cracking jokes at each other's expense, right? And I was like, This is that front. And you can see, like with Geneva, not Geneva, but with Rashida, you can kind of see it written on Rashida's face. But I will say Rashida is better at hiding it than Geneva is, right? Because speaking of Geneva, Geneva is sitting down there at that table, right? Remember, I told you guys Tiffany and Javon are sitting by each other, right? So William introduced Tiffany to Javon, Javon to Tiffany. Tiffany and Javon are hitting it off, right? Geneva's face is just stank. I was like, Geneva, ma'am, fix your. Here's the thing, Geneva. How are you jealous? You literally just told this man that you ain't leaving your husband for him, but now you sitting here and he's hitting it off with your friend and you want to have a stank ass attitude. I can't stand Geneva. So at one point they started laughing because they say they realized that they had their therapist, somebody in common, but they never said it. They just started laughing, and that's when Geneva said, "What the hell y'all laughing at?" And so Geneva wasted some water on the table. So Geneva got up. Rashida said, "You know what? I'm gonna go with her, right?" And that's when Geneva just spilled everything to Rashida, and I was like, "Okay." Rashida, I mean, I get that these are your friends, but you're a woman of the church. Never mind. Never mind. Because some of them people in the church be just the biggest hypocrites. But moving on. So then we see Franklin and that white tramp, that white hoe, that white girl. They showed up together. I said, I know you fucking lying to me. And then I was looking at her ears. I was like, those earrings do look a little familiar, but I'm like, maybe I'm tripping. I was like, maybe I'm tripping, right? So Tiffany and Javon, we do say that they like it. They kind of hit it off with each other. They like each other, right? So this heifer, this little white heifer, had the audacity to call Naomi, the dungeon lady. I said, run that back, bitch. Run that back. She was like, oh, I'm just joking. Nah, bitch, you don't joke. Because you can get, you can get, you know what I'm saying? Just, all I'm saying, right? So, child, after that, Naomi brought her drunk ass in there. I said, oh, this is going straight to hell in the handbasket. This is going to hell. This is literally going down straight to hell, and I'm here for it. I was here for it. So let me know what you guys thought about episode number 3 of Divorced Sistas in the comment section below. You guys subscribe to the channel. You guys turn your post notifications, share the video, and until the next time, stay safe. Take care of yourselves, you guys. Wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys for episode number 4 of Divorced Sistas. So what I'm thinking is with these reviews, either they'll be either each one will be 30 minutes behind the other, or it'll be a whole hour. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll know. Y'all see the notifications when you see them. But yeah, you guys, that's it for Divorced Sistas. We gonna, like I said in the last one, we gonna stick with this for right now. But when I tell you guys, me just having to suspend reality, even for that little brief second, I did not like it because I'm still stuck on these gifts. I'm still stuck on these gifts. These are gifts. I don't even want to get back into that. Once again, you guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications, share the video, and I will catch you guys in the next video, which is episode 4. So we will be caught up today. So if I think there's an episode of Divorced Sistas tonight, which is Thursday. If it is that one, oh God, you guys. So you guys know Big Brother comes on tonight. OC comes on tonight. We have the panel tonight. And Divorced Sistas. And then I still got to catch up on Ironheart. So I feel like once I catch up on Ironheart and Beyond the Gates, you guys, so it's a busy day. Oh, it is so busy. But I'll see you guys later. Bye, y'all. For real this time.